Welcome to today's episode of Medical Device Global Market Access by Pure Global. Today, we are discussing a small but significant procedural update from Brazil's National Health Surveillance Agency, ANVISA, concerning its new regulatory reliance pathway. This change, which came into effect in mid-June 2024, makes the streamlined registration process for high-risk medical devices more flexible and less risky for manufacturers. It's a practical adjustment that directly impacts market access strategy for companies targeting one of Latin America's largest markets. First, let's set the context. Earlier this year, ANVISA implemented Normative Instruction 290 or IN 290-2024, which established a formal regulatory reliance pathway. This route allows manufacturers of Class 3 and Class 4 medical devices to use prior marketing authorization from a recognized comparable regulatory authority to expedite their registration in Brazil. The recognized authorities are Australia's TGA, Health Canada, the United States FDA, and Japan's MHLW PMDA. The goal was to reduce review timelines and leverage the work of other mature regulatory bodies, making market entry more efficient. This was a welcome development for the industry, as it promised a faster path to market for innovative, high-risk devices. However, the initial implementation of this pathway had a significant drawback. When ANVISA reviewed a Reliance submission, if they found any minor inconsistencies, missing information, or aspects that required clarification, the agency's procedure was to reject the submission outright. This created a high-stakes situation for applicants. A small, correctable error could lead to a complete rejection, forcing the manufacturer to restart the entire submission process, leading to significant delays and wasted resources. This risk factor may have caused some companies to hesitate before using the otherwise attractive Reliance pathway. This is where the recent update comes in. As of mid-June 2024, ANVISA has adjusted its internal review process. Instead of rejecting a Reliance submission that requires minor changes, the agency will now issue a requirement notice, known in Brazil as an exigencia. This notice details the specific deficiencies or questions ANVISA has, and it provides the manufacturer with an opportunity to respond, amend the submission, and provide the necessary information. This change transforms the process from a pass-fail system to a more collaborative and iterative one. It significantly de-risks the Reliance pathway, making it a much more predictable and reliable option for manufacturers. This policy refinement primarily affects manufacturers of Class 3 and 4 devices who hold approvals in Australia, Canada, the US, or Japan and are planning to enter the Brazilian market. By allowing for corrections, ANVISA is signaling a more pragmatic approach that acknowledges the complexities of regulatory submissions. It reduces the fear of an immediate rejection due to a minor oversight and aligns the Reliance process more closely with standard regulatory review practices, where requests for additional information are common. The result should be shorter overall time to market and more efficient use of both industry and agency resources. So, what practical actions should your regulatory teams consider in light of this change? First, if your company previously decided against using the Reliance pathway due to the risk of rejection, we recommend re-evaluating that decision. The pathway is now considerably safer and more forgiving. Second, when preparing a Reliance submission, proactively anticipate potential questions. Ensure all documentation is exceptionally clear and that the device submitted to ANVISA is identical in every respect, including indications for use, labeling, and technical specifications, to the device approved by the reference authority. Any discrepancy is a likely trigger for a requirement notice. Third, prepare your team to respond to an exigencia quickly and comprehensively. Having local experts or a responsive team in place to manage these communications with ANVISA will be critical to keeping the review process on track. In conclusion, this subtle but important process change from ANVISA makes the Brazilian market more accessible for manufacturers of high-risk devices. It demonstrates the agency's commitment to refining its processes and making the Reliance pathway a truly effective tool for efficient market access. If you need assistance navigating Brazil's regulatory landscape or leveraging this updated Reliance pathway, check out Pure Global. We specialize in global market access and can help streamline your entry into complex markets. You can find links to our free AI regulatory tools and global device database in the description. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.